Have you ever felt your voice disappear the moment all eyes turn to you? Your heart pounding, your palms sweating, your mind going completely blank. It's not weakness, it's not brokenness. It's your social brain activating a survival response that hasn't updated in 100,000 years. I'm your host, and this is Anatomy of Fear.
If you're watching this because your heart races before a presentation, because your voice shakes during meetings, because you rehearse conversations for hours and still feel like you said the wrong thing, you're not alone. 73% of adults experience some form of public speaking anxiety. But here's what most people don't know. This isn't a personality flaw. It's a neural circuit, and neural circuits can be rewired. In our previous episodes, we explored why your prefrontal cortex freezes when all eyes are on you. We decoded the neuroscience of public speaking panic. But today, we're doing something different. Today, we're giving you the complete 21-day protocol to rewire your social brain. Stanford's 2026 study followed 342 people with moderate to severe social anxiety. After 21 days of a specific protocol, 71% showed clinically significant symptom reduction. Their brain scans changed. The hyperconnectivity between amygdala and prefrontal cortex loosened. Before we begin, a quick grounding exercise. Place your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. Say to yourself, I am safe. I am here. This moment is real. Comment grounded if you did it. Okay, let's understand what's happening in your brain. When you're about to speak in public, your amygdala, the brain's threat detector, activates. It sends an alarm to your body. Heart rate increases, cortisol spikes. Your prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain, gets flooded. It can't process. Your mind goes blank. Here's the paradox. Your brain isn't malfunctioning, it's protecting you. For your ancestors, being watched by a group meant potential exile, and exile meant death. Your brain is treating a presentation like survival threat, not because you're broken, because your brain is 100,000 years old. Columbia's 2025 study showed that people with social anxiety have 42% stronger amygdala activation during anticipatory anxiety. The threat alarm goes off earlier and louder. But here's the good news. The same study showed that after targeted practice, this activation decreased by 57%. So what works? 3 things. And this is exactly what our 21-day protocol delivers. Week 1, observation without judgment. Week 2, exposure with safety. Week 3, integration and expansion. Let me pause here and ask you something. When you think about speaking in public, which feels true to you? A, I should avoid it at all costs. B, I should force myself through it. C, I should approach it with preparation and support. Comment A, B, or C. And if you're not sure, that's okay. Most people aren't. We've never been taught how to handle this. Harvard's 2026 study identified 3 distinct brain patterns in people with social anxiety. The fear spiral, escalating, chaotic, uncontrollable. The avoidance pattern, withdrawal, disengagement, escape. And the integration pattern, aware but regulated, anxious but capable. The goal of this protocol is to move you from spiral or avoidance to integration, not to eliminate anxiety, that's not possible, but to transform your relationship with it. Which brings us to week 1, days 1 through 7, observation without judgment. Here's what it looks like. 5 minutes a day. Find a quiet space. Close your eyes. Bring to mind a mildly stressful social situation. Not terrifying, just slightly uncomfortable. Notice what happens in your body. Where do you feel tension? What thoughts appear? You're not trying to change anything. You're just observing. Days 3 and 4, you add labeling. When a thought appears, you label it. There's judgment. There's fear. There's anticipation. Not engaging, not analyzing, just naming. Neuroscience shows that labeling emotions reduces amygdala activation by up to 25%. Days 5 through 7, you keep a simple log. What situations trigger the strongest response? What happens in your body? What do you tell yourself? You're becoming a scientist of your own experience. If you haven't seen our previous episodes, V5 and V16 on public speaking panic are linked in the description. In those videos, we explored why your brain freezes under pressure. Today, we're giving you the solution. Week 2, days 8 through 14, exposure with safety. This is where the real rewiring happens. But here's what most people get wrong. They try to expose themselves without safety. They force themselves into terrifying situations and wonder why their anxiety gets worse. That's not exposure therapy. That's re-traumatization.
UCL's 2026 study showed that exposure only works when the brain feels safe. The amygdala needs to learn that the situation is not a threat, and it can only learn that when safety is present. Days 8 and 9, you create your exposure hierarchy. List situations from least scary to most scary. Maybe a 1 is imagining yourself speaking. A 3 is recording yourself alone. A 5 is speaking to one trusted person. A 7 is speaking to 3 people. A 10 is presenting to a group. Days 10 and 11, you start at your lowest level, not the scary one, the easy one. You stay there until your anxiety decreases by at least 50%. This might take 1 day, it might take 5. You don't move up until your brain has learned safety. Days 12 through 14, you move up your hierarchy, 1 level at a time. Each time, you stay until the anxiety drops. You're not forcing, you're teaching. You're showing your amygdala over and over that being seen is not being eaten.
If social anxiety shows up as fear of judgment, perfectionism, or self-sabotage, our Performance Fears playlist has videos that will change how you see those patterns. Link in description. Week 3, days 15 through 21, integration and expansion. Now you've observed, you've exposed with safety. Now you integrate. You take what you've learned and expand it into your daily life. Days 15 and 16, you practice in real, low-stakes situations. Order coffee with a slight variation. Make a brief comment in a meeting. Ask a question. Not performing, just practicing presence. Days 17 and 18, you add self-affirmation before and after. Before, I am safe. I am capable. What I have to say matters. After, I did that. I showed up. I can do this again. Days 19 through 21, you consolidate. You review the past 18 days. You notice what's changed. The anxiety might still come, but it doesn't control you anymore. You've built a new relationship with your own social brain. A 2026 study from Cambridge showed that after 21 days of this protocol, participants showed 58% less dorsal ACC activation, the brain region associated with social pain. They still felt nervous, but they didn't suffer. They performed better. They connected more deeply. They started to enjoy being seen. Let me be clear about something. The goal isn't to become fearless. Fearlessness isn't courage. Fearlessness is a lack of awareness. Courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Your anxiety is not your enemy. It's your nervous system saying, "This matters to me." And here's what I want you to do right now, today, not tomorrow, not when you're ready, today. Start day 1, 5 minutes, observe, label, don't judge. Then come back to this video, comment day 1, commit publicly. Tag 3 people in the comments who need this video. 3 people who avoid speaking up. 3 people who rehearse conversations for hours. 3 people who have something important to say but stay silent. Tag them. Let them know they're not alone. In our next episode, we're shifting focus from social fears to heights, from being seen to looking down. V24, Acrophobia Decoded, the neuroscience of why heights make your body dizzy and your mind panic. Until then, remember this: your voice matters. What you have to say matters. And your brain, with all its ancient alarms and outdated protections, can learn. It can change. It can rewire. I'm your host, and this has been Anatomy of Fear.